Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. And on my way to Deer Park. So the question today is, what is going on in the market and how does this affect your ability to wholesale or flip houses, right? People have been talking about an impending crash and things going down. All right, disconnected. It might happen again. I apologize. So again, the question is, what is happening in the real estate market and how does it affect our ability to wholesale or flip houses? So let's talk about what's going on in the market. So obviously we have, so I'm talking about New York and I'm talking about the rest of the country because I speak to other people. So there are certain parts of the country, I have friends in Utah, where things have really shifted down. They were super red hot, almost at unsustainable levels, and now prices are down 10%. There are parts of the country where prices really haven't dropped. They're just a lot less buyers for them. And you understand what's happening is that interest rates have risen. So that means less buyers can afford to pay their price levels. And in general, real estate market is cyclical, and we've been in an up market really for 14 years, since 2008. So what's happening in New York? I hope I'm not disconnected. So in New York, we've seen a shift. Second pause in the broadcast. So what's going on in New York? In New York, here's what I'm seeing. So on the wholesale front, a lot of cash buyers are concerned at the upper level of the market. So properties that, let's say, we're going for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, they're concerned. Builders are scaling back their projections, so they're scaling back what they'll pay for land or knock down properties a little. I'd say maybe 5 to 10%. But again, those are long-term project deals, right? If you're going to take a property and do major work to it, it takes a long time, right? It can take 9 months to renovate a property. It can take a year and a half to finish a new construction house. So they're concerned, right? They don't know where the market's going to be when they finish, and obviously because they're concerned, they are going to offer less. On the retail front, I haven't seen a huge drop in prices. I've seen some concern and less buyers, right? So if you had a property and it was priced right, where you might have 15 offers 4 months ago, you might only have 2 offers, but you might still get your price. So there are less people. Someone described it to me very, very well, and this is what they said. They said, listen, if in any given market in one area, for a typical property there, if there are 1,000 people that can qualify for a mortgage at 3%, and there's 500 people that can qualify for a mortgage at 6%, and there's only 200 people who can qualify for a mortgage at 8%, it really doesn't matter much if there's only 100 houses for sale. So New York, again, is different than the rest of the country, and right now more so than ever before any other place, because the absurd eviction and foreclosure moratorium that happened because of COVID still has not made even a dent in getting through the system yet. Now, what does that mean? That means that evictions in New York are notoriously slow anyway. But now what's happening is that you have a 2-year backlog of people that weren't paying their rent, and the courts are really backed up. So, for example, I used to get adjournments. Now, an adjournment is just like a delay. And adjournments in Nassau County used to take 2 to 3 weeks. Now the adjournments are taking 2 months. And that is causing delays. So there's a lot of people that really should have been out of their house and moving around, either due to a foreclosure, which takes a decade in New York, but everything's backed up for years, or due to an eviction, and those people haven't moved yet. So there still is an artificial reduction. And a third pause, sorry. So this ridiculous reduction of supply due to the absurd eviction and foreclosure moratoriums have still caused there to be the market to stay strong. It's very possible that as these properties make their way through the system, both foreclosure and eviction, over the next 6 to 12 months, although the courts are not really adequately dealing with it, right? There should be multiple eviction courts in New York. There's one. They haven't added another part. Foreclosure is still taking forever. So people are not moving that would have moved in a normal, efficient market. And because the market is inefficient right now, because we're still waiting for eviction and foreclosure properties to become vacant and get sold, what that's doing is it's still keeping the prices here pretty high. as it makes its way through, I don't know how it's going to affect it. If it takes 4 years to get through, then who knows where the market's going to be at that point. We might be higher. I don't know. So people want to know, how much is the market going to go down? How long is it going to go down for? I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. Right? It might only go down 5%. It might not go down much. And it might only be going down for 6 months. It might go down for 3 years. I don't know. What I do know is that some sellers are finally getting gist of the fact that it is feasible that the market is down, and it is feasible that the longer they hold their property, the less money they're going to get for it. And that is a dramatic difference from the last 12 to 14 years, right? Because the basic seller over the last 12 to 14 years' thinking was, the longer I hold this property, the more it's going to be worth. And that is thinking that never lasts forever, right? Markets are always cyclical. So we're in a situation now where it's a kind of wait and see, right? The bottom is not falling out. We're not in 2008. I was in the mortgage business for that crash. That was, again, artificially screwed up because the mortgage lenders were lending anybody with a pulse 100% financing on any property, which meant that literally a homeless man with crappy credit, no money, no job, no income, could go buy 30 properties. So obviously, when the market shifted in end of 2008, these people walked away from their homes, walked away because they had nothing in it. So we are not in that kind of situation. There are no income loans, but you do need good credit for them, and you have to put 20 to 30% down. So people aren't going to walk away from a 20 to 30% deposit like they did walk away from their houses with no money in it back in 2008. So my thought is the bottom's not going to fall out. Prices could be getting lower. I don't think they're going to fall out of the sky. I don't know how long it's going to last. It's reasonable to think prices down over a year or two. It's reasonable. On some level, I almost hope it happens because I think it'll be easier for me to buy properties. But I have a lot of properties in the pipeline, and I'm sort of hoping that I don't get slaughtered on them. So it's a weird, it's a mix. Right? I bought a lot of properties. Fourth pause. So I have 12 evictions going on, and I have certain projections about what I can get for those properties. And I'm hoping that it's not much lower. So, there's a fine line where I want the market to go down enough that sellers are more eager to sell to me, but at the same point, I have all these properties in my pipeline that I don't want to take a beating on. So there's no way to know what's going to happen. Anybody that tells you they know what's going to happen is lying to you. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And here's even more. What happens in New York is not going to be the same as what happens in Florida, or happens in Texas, or California, or Utah. Every place is different. All real estate is local, and there's no way to know what's going to happen. I wish I could be more definitive, but it's really impossible. I have no idea what's going to happen in the market, but we have to see. So we have going for us in New York is this artificial reduction in supply, which should keep prices relatively strong to other places, which have all gotten through their moratoriums, right? They're all the judicial structure there is much quicker. Here it is much slower, and that affects things, right? Because there are always a certain number of properties that should become vacant due to eviction. A landlord wants to sell. Properties that become vacant through the foreclosure. People want to get out of a dead weight. So I wish I could be more helpful. I hope this is helpful in some way. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching I offer, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. I have a home study program that teaches how to do what I do. It's called, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. I have to change that name. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help the algorithm and let a lot more people see my videos. And please keep the comments coming. I post 5 times a day. I don't always know what to say. Your comments give me topics to discuss. This came from a topic, so please keep the comments coming. You can ask a question about anything. It does not have to be about the video you're watching. If it's something simple, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something I've covered recently, I'll send you links to a video or videos on it. And if it's something new, I will do a brand new video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching. I got to push finish with my left hand.